Hey guys, it's the Ruffle Monster here, and today I wanted to make a YouTube video going over the most expensive skin for each weapon in Counter-Strike. I spent a while researching the prices for these, but if I make any mistakes, please feel free to correct me in the YouTube comments. I'm going to start off with the most expensive CZ skin, which is the Souvenir Nitro Factory New. There are a total of 7 of these known to exist in Factory New, and the one on screen is the lowest float one, and it's also signed by Fallen from the final of MLG Columbus, and is worth around $700. Next, we have the most expensive Desert Eagle, which is a StatTrak Factory New Crimson Web with 4 Titan Hollows applied. Titan Hollows are currently worth around $1,200, making this pistol approximately $2,800 total. The most expensive skin for the dual Berettas is the Souvenir Cobalt Quartz Factory New. These normally sell for around $200, however the one on screen has an iBuyPower Hollow applied to it. The approximate price for these dualies is about $600. The most expensive skin for the 5.7 is this StatTrak Factory New Case Hardened Blue Gem. It's one of 2 StatTrak Factory New 5.7s with the #1 pattern, and it also has a Titan Hollow applied to the grip of the pistol. This 5.7 is worth around $7,000. The most expensive Glock skin is this Glock Fade with 4 Titan Hollows applied. There are 4 Glock Fades with 4 Titan Hollows applied, but this one has the best flow. As I said before in the video, Titan Hollows are worth around $1,200, making this Glock worth around $1,600. The most expensive P250 is this P250 Gunsmoke Factory New with 4 iBuyPower Hollows applied to it. It's a 1 of 1 and is worth around $3,500. The most expensive P2000 skin is the StatTrak Factory New Ocean Foam with 4 Titan Hollows applied. There are 3 StatTrak Factory New P2000 Ocean Foams with 4 Titan Hollows applied, but this one's the best float, like I said, and it's worth about $1,500. The most expensive R8 in existence is this Souvenir Factory New Amber Fade. There are currently 5 Souvenir Factory New Amber Fades known to exist, and this probably has the best signature. It's signed by Get Right. This particular R8 is worth around $1,200. The most expensive Tech 9 is the Souvenir Factory New Nuclear Threat. Now, the one on screen isn't Souvenir Factory New, it's the best float Souvenir Minimal Wear one. However, there is one Souvenir Factory New Tech 9 in existence, but it's in a private inventory, so I can't inspect it. Also, it's had the sticker scraped, so it just looks like a normal Factory New one. This Tech 9 is worth around $4,000 in total. Expensive USPS in the game would be the #1 float StatTrak Factory New Orion. Now, low float Orions are really rare, and it's incredibly rare to see one with an almost perfect top, which this one is. This one also has 4 Fnatic Hollows applied onto it, which really fit in with the skin. Now, this is, as I said, the #1 float and is worth up to $4,000. The most expensive AK in the game is this StatTrak Minimal Wear AK Case Hardened with the #1 pattern. There are 4 StatTrak Minimal Wear AK Case Hardens with the #1 pattern, and 2 of those have 4 Titan Hollows applied onto them, but this is the lowest float one. It's got a float of 0.09, which is 0.02 away from Factory New, so it's basically the best one, even though there's basically no difference between them. Anyway, the price for this thing is around $35,000. Expensive AUG in the game is the Factory New AUG Akihabara Accept. This is the #1 float one on the screen and sold for around $3,000, but normal Factory New ones sell for about $500. But of course, if you want the #1 float one, you have to pay a lot more than average. The most expensive AWP in the game is the Souvenir Dragon War Factory New with the #1 float. It's also signed by Fallen and is incredibly clean. Now, I can't inspect it because it's in a private inventory, but the screenshot should show how clean it is. This sold for $37,000. The most expensive FAMAS in the game is this StatTrak Factory New FAMAS Pulse with 4 Dignitas Hollows on it. Dignitas Hollows are currently worth around $500 or more, making this FAMAS around $700 total. The most expensive G3 SG1 skin in the game is the StatTrak Minimal Wear Executioner. There are currently only 44 in existence, and the #1 float Minimal Wear one would sell for approximately $125. Expensive Galil in the game is the #1 float Galil Cerberus Souvenir Factory New. This one is signed by Jacob and has an extremely low float of like 0003. It's probably worth more than $250. Expensive M4A1S skin is the Souvenir Masterpiece Factory New. Currently there are only 3 known to exist, and this is the #1 float one, which is also signed by Get Right. Now, the reason I can't inspect it is again because it's in a private inventory. However, I do know that it sold for over $7,000. Expensive M4A4 skin in the game is the Star Trek Factory New HAL #1 float, which also has 4 iBuyPower hollows on it. Now, whilst this doesn't look very good, it is very expensive, and the price is about $20,000. The most expensive SCAR 20 skin in the game is this Star Trek Factory New Crimson Web. Now, this is one of one with 4 iBuyPower hollows, and like I've said before, iBuyPower hollows are worth around $2,500, making this gun worth around $3,600 total. The most expensive SG553 skin is probably this Factory New Damascus Steel with an iBuyPower hollow. Now, whilst the Damascus Steel isn't actually expensive itself, the iBuyPower adds a lot of value, and there aren't really high tier skins for Damascus Steel. It actually looks surprisingly good as well. Now, the estimated price for this particular one is about $130. The most expensive Scout skin in the game is the Souvenir Factory New Detour with 4 iBuyPower hollows applied onto it. It's a one of one, of course, but the skin probably costs around $3,500. Expensive Mac 10 skin in the game is the Star Trek Factory New Graven. Now, this one has had a Vox Hollow applied onto it. Vox Hollows unapplied cost about $350, but when applied onto this, it makes the gun totally worth around $85. Expensive Mac 10 skin in the game is the Star Trek Factory New Graven. Now, this one has had a Vox Hollow applied onto it. Vox Hollows unapplied cost about $350, but when applied onto this, it makes the gun totally worth around $85. The most expensive MP7 in the game is this #1 Flow MP7 Whiteout with an iBuyPower hollow, a Hellraiser's hollow, an LGB hollow, and a Howling Dawn sticker. The #1 Whiteout on its own is probably worth about 400 keys, but when you add the stickers onto it, the entire skin is probably worth over $1,400. However, this skin is actually trade banned on some scammers' accounts, so it will never sell for anything ever again. The most expensive MP9 skin is the Bulldozer Factory New. Now, on average, these things cost around $300 to $350. However, this is the #1 float one and is worth over $800. The most expensive P90 skin in the game is the Star Trek Factory New Emerald Dragon. There are currently 41 of these known to exist in the game, and they sell for around $1,200 each, but this is the #1 float one and would sell for around $1,800. These used to be a lot rarer until someone got incredibly lucky in trade-ups and made 4 of them in a row. The most expensive PP Bison skin is the PP Bison Modern Hunter Factory New. Now, there are a total of 66 Factory New Modern Hunters known to exist, and they normally sell for around $100. However, this is the #1 float one and is probably worth around $145. The expensive UMP skin in the game is this Factory New Blaze with 4 Katowice hollows applied onto it. It really matches the red theme and is worth approximately $500. The most expensive Mag 7 skin in the game is this Souvenir Factory New Mag 7 Bulldozer. There are currently only 5 of these known to exist, and this, whilst it's not the #1 float one, it is the cleanest one, and it's also signed by Flamey during Na'vi vs LG at Columbus. This is worth around $1,500 purely because of how rare it is, and also how well the stickers match the yellow of the Bulldozer. The most expensive Nova skin is this Star Trek Factory New Rising Skull, which has a Titan Hollow and an iBuyPower hollow. Now, the combination of these 2 Katos on a Star Trek Factory New Nova means that this Nova is worth around $600. It's expensive. Expensive XM1014 skin is the Souvenir Factory New Fallout Warning. These were incredibly rare until Nuke was re-released into the map pool, but they're still pretty expensive, and the normal price tag for these is around $120. The most expensive M249 skin is the Factory New Blizzard Marbleized. Now, this is only expensive because it can be used in trade-ups, but on average these cost around $40 to buy. The most expensive Negev is the Anodized Navy Factory New, which normally sell for around $60. The only reason they're expensive is because they can be used to trade up to MP9 Bulldozers or Glock Fates. For knife skins, I've decided to include the top 2. Now, this is the best Star Trek Factory New Karambit Crimson Web. It has an incredibly clean corner and the webbing on it is incredible as well. Now, the owner of this knife has turned down an offer of $50,000 cash. Finally, we have the most expensive knife and most expensive skin at the same time. This is the #1 pattern Karambit Case Hardened Factory New. It's definitely the best knife in the entire game and is worth approximately $100,000. That finishes it off. I hope you guys have enjoyed watching, and feel free to subscribe and all that bullshit. If you have any other videos you want me to make, please comment below telling me what to do, and I'll try to do it as soon as possible. Anyway, see you guys later.